Hey guys, Joshua Peterson, Peterson Electric. This is probably my third video on the underground for this house here in Boulder. Again, it's New Year's 2018. So we got all this in. It's a 2.5 inch, schedule 40, and then a 1 inch schedule 40. Again, I used a 4-foot heat box with a 2-foot heat box and put them next to each other and heated it. One with the generator, because it's 1500 watt, and then the 2300 watt won't work with my 1500 watt Yamaha. It has to come off of that temp with a thick cord to just heat it all day. So we ran all this and heated this last week. We got our inspection and it's final. We got it passed. This ribbon will come out, and then I'll backfill, and I'll use a jumping jack, and I'll show you a video on that, because I'll fill this probably about 18 inches and start jumping jacking it. I don't have to worry too much about ice because we didn't freeze over Christmas like they thought. This bends right here. I ran a spare conduit. I always run a spare to the building, just in case they want the alert system for that septic inside. I'll have an extra conduit for my class 2 wiring, just so it's switch legs to warn this way if they didn't like what we did in the garage. So the other 1 inch is going to end up doing CenturyLink all the way that way, and the other 1 inch is going this way to go do the Comcast, my coax. This is going to be the edge of my garage. They're doing a monolithic pour, hoping they'll dig next to it and gently not hit this. Stubbed up with all my 1 inch, labeled it, duct taped it, and this will be cut out later, this EMT. Hopefully this will go inside the wall. The building's supposed to be 18 foot off the edge of the building to building, and I put 4 inches over to go maybe on the inside if I did that right, or the plans don't change. So my 2 inch schedule 80 is coming up here to feed my garage. I did a 2 inch because I did a bottom lug system feed through on the bus bar, because this is 200 amp main in here. So it's going to be well, I guess I got a screwdriver. I have to get that off later, but I got a feed through lug system in here. So I can feed 200 amps or go up to 125 and feed it. And then I got my bypass lever meter here, my 2.5 inch fed there. And this is the benchmark on this is going to be up here. So I'm approaching 4 foot. I don't normally like to go that deep, but I had to dig out with the earth, and I had to break out this footer, and I had to chip that with my hammer drill and then feed that through. This conduit right here is a 3/4, and this is feeding my 3-way system in and out. I wish I could have got it in this wall before they framed and before they poured. Again, they didn't tell me. It was a last minute thought. By the way, could we do a 3-way? You know, I probably could have just done the Lutron system with the C.L Pico system and communicated back and forth. But in a cold garage that's not heated, I was really concerned that the Pico would not work or the battery would die. So I was a little concerned if I put the master in here and the slave out there, or the master out there and the slave in here, would I have issues? I prefer to have a 3-wire system with 12 gauge going underneath this conduit from wall to wall, switch to switch, like the old school way of a stairway. So they're going to have to live with this. The general said that we're going to do rock here. They'll try to cover this piece right here. They said they might put a box. They said they might even put a box over that after everything's said and done, because the owner said, oh, by the way, can we move the service? Well, we already moved it. It was already on the back side of the house because they had all these windows put in for the kitchen. We moved it over to here. There's really no other place to move it, and you have to have a disconnect outside, and the meter has to be outside too. So there is, you know, with an 18-foot garage, and that's the front of the house, go ahead and show them that way, there is no way for us to basically just move that for you. It's just some of those code articles that we have to follow. The other thing is that if I do a UFER, which I would have liked to have done a UFER in here, but they never stubbed me up a rebar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury this right there, just like that, at 4 foot deep. And then I'm probably going to bury another one and take my bender and bend it up, and my inspector will see one there and then 6 foot further away over there. I'll link it with a number 6 bare copper, go into there, and I'll have that as a backup, but then I don't have to drive these 8 foot deep. If I did, I have my hammer drill the attachments, not a problem. I just would prefer to have that length of soil here. Again, you have to be minimum, I believe it's 30 inches on that to bury a ground rod, but I'm at 4 foot. So the only other thing is if they do a UFER there, I'll bond the UFER to the sub panel. From the sub panel, I'll pull it through here. Keep in mind, when you're pulling wire for a detached garage, you have to have 4 wires now if you're doing 240 volt. And then the other side of it is that I like to make sure all my stuff is in a conduit, and I didn't do URD because there's too much rock out here. I don't want anything damaged. So anyways, guys, hopefully it'll help you out. You can kind of see how this is going, and ebb and flowing, and what these conduits are for, and what that looks like. And again, I hope that rock will be covered because I got my stuff on first, and it'll stick out. I'm not sure if it'll cover all of this, but there's not much I can do on that because this was existing. All right, guys, thanks for joining us.